Morning, everyone. Welcome to the channel. It's Saturday morning, April 29th. It's about 5:30 a.m. I'm down here at Osage Wildlife Management Area. I'm gonna try and throw on some camo, try and sneak up on the ridge and see if we can hear one of the first gobbles this morning. And I'm the only person in the parking lot, so it was super windy yesterday, about 25-mile-an-hour winds. I came down yesterday afternoon, hunted for about 4 hours, saw a couple hens. I never heard a gobble yesterday, never saw a tom or a jake. The wind dropped down to about 5 miles an hour overnight. It's supposed to stay down around 5 to 10 miles an hour till mid-afternoon today. It's not supposed to pick up until about 2 or 3 o'clock, and then it's gonna go back up to that 20 to 30 mile an hour range. So I'm hoping it's going to be one of those bluebird kind of turkey hunting mornings where the birds gobble on the roost and keep gobbling all morning and chase hens all over the woods. And I'm going to sneak in, see if we can get close to them and see if we can have a little adventure this morning. All right, we just got back to the Jeep. I hunted in Osage Wildlife Management Area this morning for about 3 hours or so, 3.5 hours. I got in there about 5:30 or 5:45. It's about 9:15 now. I heard a couple gobbles in the last half hour or so on the way out, but most of them were on the private land and couple 100 yards up onto the private land. And I've hunted down here enough to know that usually in the late morning or early afternoon, once they get on the north side of the property on the private land, it's really hard to call them back out of there. The pasture up there is really short. There's a lot of cattle up there. They like to go up and like flip over the cow pies and eat bugs, and they just get lost up there for the afternoon. So I'm going to head over southeast of Tecumseh. There's another piece of public land. I think it's called James Douglas Wildlife Management Area. I've hunted over there before. I'm going to stop there. There's a parking lot up on the ridge of it's 3 little sections. There's a parking lot up on the ridge of one of the little sections that I've hunted over there before. So I'm going to park in that parking lot, see if I can hear a bird gobble. If I can, I'll probably walk in and hunt there. If not, I'm going to get back on my phone, pull up Game and Parks website, and find another piece of land, public land that I've never been to, and go do a late afternoon scouting trip to see if I can find a piece of public land that has a few more birds or has a little better setup. I've been hunting this piece of property quite a bit the last couple of weekends, and I just need a change of scenery. I need something different. You know, I've been coming down here and getting close, but not getting a bird killed. So I just need to shake things up, do something a little different, go somewhere new, explore something, just be a little more adventurous, I guess. Can only fail at the same place so many times before you just need to shake things up and try something different or give this place a break. I'm not saying I might not come back down here one more time this spring for a morning hunt or something, but I just need to go find a couple other properties to mix in. That way I feel like I'm learning more about other properties also. I feel like I've hunted this one enough that I know pretty much how the game works, but I did make a mistake this morning. I think I heard a bird gobble in the creek bottom. I walked down to this little creek crossing down here right when I got to the split in the trail and had to make a decision to go up or down. I heard a bird gobble in the creek bottom. It sounded like he was back by that little field that I had hunted before, that little alfalfa field. So I decided to go that way. I snuck down the trail. I got across the little creek, got into the trail, the little access road trail by the CRP that you have to sneak through right before you get to that little alfalfa field. And I actually heard him gobble a little closer than I thought he was. So I was probably within 75 yards of him when he gobbled when I was down in the creek bottom. So I decided to just throw out a couple decoys on that little access road and get sat next to a tree with my camera. By the time I got the camera and everything set up, it was just about shooting light. But I don't know if he saw me sneak out and set the decoys up, or if it's just a stroke of bad luck. But he didn't gobble again after I set the decoys up and got sat down. I tried to be as quiet as I could. I tried to move as slow as I could. But for some reason, I only heard him gobble probably 3 times. Once down here, then 2 more times when I got within probably 75 yards of him. But when he flew down, he basically dropped almost straight out of the tree, and I never heard him again. I never saw him. I didn't really call very much to him, just a little bit. I just yelped a couple times on my slate call just to basically let him know there was a hen there. But I never heard him respond to a call. I never heard him walk through the woods in the leaves. It was really quiet this morning. I thought where he flew down that I would at least hear him in the leaves down in the creek bottom. I just couldn't see him because he was just over the ridge of the creek bed. But I don't know where he went. I don't know if he went straight up the ridge in the cedar trees, or if he just kind of snuck down the creek bottom to the west of me, or I just don't know what happened. I'm guessing that he saw me sneak out on that little access road and set the 2 decoys up. I tried to do it as slow and as quiet as I could in the dark, but I just got a little too close to him in the morning before he gobbled that second time to tell me where he was. I was trying not to use a locator call or a hen call to find him. When I heard him gobble the first time, I thought, oh, he's roosting in that same spot that they roost down by that little alfalfa field. So just turned out that he was roosting about 100 yards farther east than he was. I should have been a little slower getting in there. I was trying to hurry to get to the alfalfa field so I could get things set up in the dark, and I was being quiet, and I was going, I wasn't running through the woods, and I was being quiet. I was making sure that I was not making a bunch of noise, and I knew that there's sometimes birds will roost on that little road, so I didn't want to rush through there. I thought I was going slow enough. I thought I was, looking back at it, I think I just got a little too aggressive with it and got in there a little too quick. And then he actually might have gobbled the second time when he saw me, or they usually don't do that, but I think he was gobbling in response to birds that were gobbling farther north of me, but they were probably 300 yards north of me. There was actually more birds in that group, and I think those are the birds that actually went north out of the property. Those are the ones that I probably just heard gobbling before I came out. There was a couple of them down in the bottom of the draw, but they were at least 200 yards off the public land border. So I'm going to go over to James Douglas, check things out, and see what happens from there.